Okay, all right. I'm just going to continue from where we left off. So we are still doing lesson 30, okay, where we are still doing speed of overtaking, direct and indirect ratio. Okay, now just a quick recap of what we have done last week, whereby we have two types of ratio. We have common time, okay, when you have common time, and when you have common distance. Okay, so when it comes to the ratio, for common time, cannot, okay, Kian, can your camera be turned on? Kian, you there? Okay, now when we have a common time, so remember when we talk about distance, speed, and time, there are three things. So if we have a common time, that means we can find the distance ratio and speed ratio. Kian, are you around? Kian, camera, okay, Ken. So when we talk about common distance, we can actually find the speed and time ratio, okay? So these are the ratios that we can find. When it comes to speed and distance ratio, they are direct. And this one will be reverse or indirect. So if you recall from last week's lesson, this is what we did. Okay, this is what we did. Okay, so I meant to put this recap on the next page, actually. Okay, can. All right, so this is what we have done last week, just a quick recap. And of course, you have the formula, okay? Now, let's take a look at question number 1. Now, I hope from next week onwards, I know it's a busy period with PSLE, with your prelim orals coming up this week or next week, and then prelims coming up. Please try and find the time to complete the homework, watch the video, and then complete the homework. Okay? Now, let's take a look at the first question. So the question says at 6:46 a.m., a sports car started traveling at an average speed of 64 kilometers per hour. Okay, so at 6:46 a.m., a sports car started traveling at a speed of 64 kilometers per hour. Okay, then at 8:46, a lorry started from the same place. So from the same place at 8:46 a.m., a lorry started, and the lorry took 4 hours to catch up. Okay, now, so between 6:46 and 8:46, the car had a head start. Okay, the car had a head start for 2 hours. So within these 2 hours, yes, Jeremy, thank you. So within these 2 hours, okay, the distance covered would be speed, which is 64, speed times time to give me 128. Okay, so this is 128 kilometers that the car would have covered. Now, and we know that the lorry took 4 hours to catch up. So as the car moves, the lorry moves, and at the point which is 4 hours later, the lorry took to catch up with the sports car. So can you see this? This distance, the car took 4 hours, while the lorry took 4 hours to cover a total of 128 kilometers. Okay, so you want to find the speed of the lorry, right? You want to find the speed of the lorry. First, you need to find out what is the distance traveled. Okay, now there are 2 ways to solve this. One of the way is find this distance here. How do I find this distance here? Anyone? Kian, how do I find this distance here? What do I do?
To find it's time. Wait, it's time and time times the speed.
Thank you. So B time times the speed to give me 256 kilometers. Okay, so now I have this. So now from here, I can find the total distance traveled by the lorry in 4 hours, right? So how do I do that? Kiara?
Wait, what?
How do I find the distance traveled by the lorry in 4 hours?
The distance,
Hmm. Tell me the step. You don't have to tell me the answer.
speed times time.
Okay. Anyone else want to try? Because we don't have the speed of the lorry. So I cannot find the distance of the lorry, the distance that the lorry covered in 4 hours. How about Salman? Can you try? Yes, you can. That's right. Salman, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so can you tell me how do I find the distance traveled by the lorry in 4 hours?
In 4 hours,
What's the distance traveled by the lorry?
the distance is it 128 km plus 256 km?
Yes, that's right. Very good. Come on, thank you. Plus 256 kilometers to give me a total distance of 384 kilometers. So now that I have the distance and I have the time taken, I can find the speed of the lorry, which is equal to Cassidy. Speed is equals to, yeah, speed equals to what, Cassidy?
Distance divided by time.
Okay, so that's distance divided by time to give me 96. So the speed is 96 kilometers per hour. Thank you, Joy. Okay, now, everyone got it? Okay, so for question number 2, we have Sabrina and Jessica have a bicycle race. Now, the moment you see this 4-letter word race, that means what is fixed? What is common? It is common. Anyone? What is fixed? Perez? When you see a race, what is fixed? Between distance, speed, and time, what is fixed in a race? Okay, the time they start. Okay, so what other things is the same? What other things is common besides the time that they start? Yes, the distance is the same. Okay, so we have now. So they start at the same time. Sabrina and Jessie. Sabrina cycles at a speed of 20 kilometers per hour. Okay, 20 kilometers per hour. Jessica cycles at a speed of 24 kilometers per hour. Now, if Jessica lets Sabrina start 36 minutes before her, how long will Jessica take to catch up? Okay, now, so similar to what is in question 1, except they didn't tell you the time. Yes, Jeremy, the time is 3 hours. That's right. Okay, so from here, what happened here is we know that we're talking about common distance, right? Because it is a race. So they have a common distance. We can actually find the speed and the time ratio between Sabrina and Jessica. So we have the speed of Sabrina to be 20, Jessica to be 24. So the ratio is 5:6. Okay, so we have this set of ratio. Now, then what happens? Okay, so if I were to draw my timeline, there must be a point where they will catch up, right? Okay, so we know that Jessica let Sabrina start. Jessica let Sabrina start. Okay, I don't want to confuse you. I'm going to put here 36 minutes. And then at this point, Jessica will then start. And then at some point, they will meet. Okay, so at the point where they meet, what is common? Distance is common. Okay, so now what I have here is when the distance is common, I have the speed and the time ratio. So the time ratio here will be 5:6. All right, 5:6. So now the time taken for Jessica to cover the distance. Okay, now let me ask you this question. Remember this? When I say it is reverse, what should my ratio here be? Is it speed ratio is 5:6, so the time ratio between Sabrina and Jessica is also 5:6, is it? Anyone? No. Okay, Yashika, what should it be? Thank you, 6:5. Okay, so which means that from here, we know that for the same time, okay, the distance covered by Jessica and the distance covered by Sabrina would be, okay, so Sabrina had a head start of 36 minutes. And then she took a total of how long? Do we know how long Sabrina took here? And how long Jessica took here to cover? Anyone? What about Jessica? Time taken by Jessica is 5 units. So which means this is 5 units. Remember this question? They have the same time. So here, time taken is the same, but because Sabrina takes a total of 6 units, so this 36 minutes will be 1 unit. So how long will Jessica take to catch up with Sabrina? So what we want is Jessica took 5 units of time to catch up with Sabrina. So time taken by Jessica to catch up will be 5 units of time to give me 180 minutes. Or I can put it as minute. So that means 180 minutes to be in hour will be how long? Nabil, how long is this in hours?
Wait, 5.
Okay, Saman, can you tell me?
I got confused.
Is it 3?
Yes, thank you. So it's 3 hours. So 180 minutes is 3 hours because I have to divide by 60. Okay, so the answer here is 3 hours. Avery, are you able to turn on your camera? Avery? Yes? No? Okay. Fine. All right. Okay, any questions, anyone? Otherwise, let's move on to question number 3. Now, For question number